How's it going, everyone? My name's Microcosm and welcome to episode 23 of our Let's Play series. Today I am very fed up of being in this boat. So I'm going to do something about it because I have been walking and boating and swimming and making my way back and forth to our Nether roof access portal, which is away over there in the distance. So today I'm going to do something about it, namely break some bedrock and make ourselves a little access closer to home. So I'm going to quickly gather together the ingredients here that we'll need for the machine that will help us break through that bedrock, and then head over one last time to that portal. Okay, we're back up on the Nether roof right now, and before coming up here, I did a couple of things. I went back into our Nether area and I found our exact spot for getting up, right? So what I want to do is find a place where there's only one bedrock block, and then I can break that singular bedrock block and Bob's your uncle, we can get up and down, right? So I got to know exactly where that is. So I moved my ladder so that it was directly underneath a singular block, and that would be at level 126, the highest block that you can get to, and then 127 is this here, and then we're standing on 128 right here. So that's how you get there on your Y coordinate. So now we just have to get ourselves into position and use these things here to build ourselves a little machine that's going to break the bedrock for us. So I'll show you what that looks like. On this block here, which is our correct block, now we pop down a piece of obsidian, and on top of it another block that is high blast resistance. And this time I'm using some smooth stone. Then beside this we put our TNT. On top of this, another TNT. On the edge here, one lever. And then we need to make ourselves some trapdoors. And we plop our trapdoor just there. And that's our entire machine. Now this thing, I have done some testing. Quite a bit of testing, to be honest, in a creative world. Or in a test world, and this machine here is the most reliable I have found. Now it may not be the most reliable because there's plenty of designs for things that would break bedrock for us, but this one here for me works most of the time, and generally it's if I mess up it doesn't work. So a little bit nervous because this is the real thing, right? But we got to get it done. So I'm going to pop in here, and what it does is I will get myself into this position, and I'm going to click this lever here, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to spam click at the edge of this block, because as the piston is extended, I'll see the edge of this block. I'll spam click this here, and what it actually does is it places the block that's in my hand, this piston that's in my hand, places it just as this one is destroyed, and the game confuses the direction of the pistons and it places it in a position that means that it breaks down or pushes down the bedrock and deletes it from the world, essentially. But it's very important that what happens is this power source gets destroyed before this piston does. So that's why it's set up like this. This will power this TNT slightly, and I mean fractions of a second, before it powers this TNT block. And in that way, that gets blown up, or just before that gets blown up, and it all works lovely and magically. So let's try this out. Let's hope first time is a charm. I got to be right in at the corner here so I don't pop up underneath this trapdoor once I click this. And here we go. And that has worked. You can tell because this is sitting facing upwards. So once we break this, we have our hole, and look, isn't that beautiful? I'm so happy that worked first time, and genuinely first time. No editing needed. Thank goodness for that. So we have our little hole here. Better not lose it. I shall put down some indicators. Let's do torches. There, and there, and there, just for now, to let us know where we are. But we'll do some indication as to the direction of our nice gold farm and anything else that we might do up on here, because maybe we'll use it for travel as well to some extent, now that we've made the effort and we've broken our little block. Now, because that works, essentially, unless you screw up, it works like 100% of the time that I've found. That's a great method to be able to break out a number of these blocks. If you want to make a huge hole in a stairway or anything like that, I'd recommend that method over many others. And it's quite compact as well, so you can get it into smaller areas when you're trying to get down through, you know, multiple levels you see here of bedrock, and you break out a little area that will fit into it. So that's my recommendation as to how to break bedrock. One more tip that I will give you that I forgot to mention is that as I'm placing those torches, I'm doing it by pressing Q. And the reason is that getting that spam as you're down beneath the trapdoor and you're trying to really spam click your right mouse button, that's a little difficult for the old fingerinos. So a little tip for you that other people have mentioned, so I'll pass it on, is to go into your settings just like this and your controls, and right here your use item / place item block, you can reset that or set that, and I have it set to Q. Now for most people, by the way, I will just set that back to my right mouse button, but for most people Q is no good because Q is to drop an item, but I have that remapped already because I tend to accidentally, just throw items around. If I have it on Q, especially if you're in little panic mode, you kind of spam the buttons and things go flying and suddenly you've thrown your sword at the enemy. So I remap my Q or my throw item to G, and I recommend that too. If that's a problem for you, remap it to something that's not directly in your finger line of fingers, so to speak, and it'll mean that you don't throw stuff accidentally so much. But if you want, you can remap this to, I probably would recommend to R. You generally don't use it, and it's right there next to your E button, meaning that you can get to it easily, but not too easily when you want to get down and spam. Takes a little bit of practice, but you can get it done. And also you'll have seen I didn't take any damage at all, none whatsoever through that. And I was wearing my armor, including my golden leggings, so that I don't get killed by the piglins. But generally when you do it, you don't take any damage from that. So you can do that over and over and over again, and you don't need blast protection armor on you or anything. You can technically you could do it without any armor at all, and as long as you don't mess up too badly, you'll get away with that. So now that we have that done, that means I'm no longer traveling literally thousands of blocks to get to the other portal, to get up and down onto that nether roof. So now we can do a little work up there and place some more permanent structures onto our nether roof. Hooray! And as a little sneak peek behind the scenes for you guys, that first structure that we're going to build on the nether roof is likely going to be quite large. So that means it's going to take us quite a bit of crafting and a lot of mining and a lot of AFKing at our farms, like our iron farm over here and our gunpowder farm. And that's probably going to take us a good couple of days, real time, maybe even more, to get everything together for this build that I've got in mind. But then at the end of it, we get to start a Piglin Trading Hall. So when I see you next, I should have everything just like magic. It wasn't magic. If that was magic, Harry Potter can piss right off. No, that was That was grind. That was pain. You all know what it's like. Look at this. Now, to be honest, this and this and this. That was probably the easiest part of it because of our lovely guardian farm, right? All I had to go do was AFK and then do some... Well, I had to do the crafting, didn't I? So that was a little bit painful, but not very much. This was a little painful because I had to mine for this, because this is not enough. So we're going to do something a little interesting here. I'm going to start building this thing around here because we want the gold farm to feed down into some storage here, right? And then we're going to have our Piglin Hall in this area. And two things are going to happen. We're going to have drops of iron ingots. I don't think we have anything in here right now. No, we don't. But you know what iron ingots look like? And the iron ingots are going to fall down. They're going to go to the piglins. I'll show you what that looks like a little later. But also, we're going to have iron nuggets, which we will craft into ingots ourselves. And we want to capture those first. So I'm going to start with that system of storing iron nuggets, gold nuggets, and the gold ingots going around into the piglins section. But before I do that, I'm going to want some place to capture what the piglins give us. And that's going to be below all that. So I have another section to build first. It'll all make sense once you see it in a few minutes. For me, it's going to take a little bit of time. Look at all this. Blackstone had to be got. All this stuff had to be crafted. I'm not complaining. It was kind of fun, but just for your own education, the worst part of all of this, the most time consuming, I guess, was probably this one here, just these two rows here, right? Because the amount of wood that goes into these bloody things, you guys know, right? You gotta grow those damn trees. I wish I had an auto wood harvester at that stage, but I'm not doing TNT duping in this series. And without that, it's a bit of a pain in the backside. So I was just growing and grinding. So I'll go up here and I'll get a little bit of gold to kick this thing off. Because these piglins are going to need a little feeding. But then I'm going to get stuck into it. And I'll bring you back once the guts of the mechanisms have been built. And I'll show you around. Some people will say I've gone overboard with the storage chests for this build. To those people I say, I'm not even finished yet. Okay, alright, I freely admit it. This build may have gotten into my brain and scrambled some stuff up a little bit. But nonetheless, the mechanisms are completed. Don't ask me why I did it this way. I just did. I wanted to see it in its glorious naked form. Who doesn't want to see that occasionally? Huh? All this is going to only make sense once I put some kind of a housing around it and then give you a bit of a tour. But I think it's fun to see it like this, isn't it? All of that, including all of those damn hoppers that I had to make, are part of the mechanisms that will take all that gold from up there and turn it into our items right down here. So the bottom storage is this. But I won't do the full tour until the building is complete. And the building is going to be relatively large to surround that body there. But before the tour, I'm going to do one more thing, and that is I'm going to move this portal. This comes out away from our base. Let me just jump through it and show you how far off we are. Watch those coordinates. Yeah, if you know our home coordinates, it's like minus 1400 by minus 1200, something around those kind of coordinates. So we're a ways off here. That's no fun. So I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of the one on the roof here, and I'll bring it over a little closer to the hole that I made, so we can get in and out easier, if just, I know, in case, and we'll move around some portals and things later on. It's going to be fun, but in the meantime it'll clean this up so that the front of our building looks a little nicer, I think. But I'm going to get to doing that, and I'll probably bring you back midway through building this when it comes time to get the piglins in, because that could get interesting. Okay, friends, we're about midway here, and we've got the base of this thing built up now and a floor put in at this level. And I think I'm ready to get these piglins in, like I mentioned. I keep thinking I've forgotten something, but I guess we'll find out. Now I just have to go around and find one of these buggers because I have been careful, and aside from the tops of these walls that aren't complete, everything is pretty well spawn proofed. There isn't a floor down there. Any other floors tend to be half slabs. So I am going to put a floor, probably just down here, on which things can spawn, and we're going to get some zombie piglins and probably, sadly, some ghasts, and maybe even a magma cube or two. But we'll deal with those and we'll filter them out somehow. I can't say I've got a hell of a plan in place, but we'll figure it out as we go, won't we? I've been waiting for a while and got nothing, and I've just realized what's wrong. Because just underneath the floor, under our feet, there's going to be plenty of fellas already spawned and taking up the mob cap, isn't there? So what I'm going to do is pop up into the sky and then wait until somebody spawns on this platform here, and then we'll come back down. Mission success, I think. Though not in the way we thought. Our little platform is completely and totally empty and utterly useless. So that was a waste of time. But up here, I could have sworn I saw... Did you see a piglin anywhere, mate? No? Could have sworn I saw a here you are. Hello. Oh, I know what we can do here. Look at me. I am bootless. Oh, are you angry? Come over here. You following me? Did you fall down like an idiot? This. Honestly, really? Where did you go? Hello? Did you just lose interest? Come on, chase me. Chase me. Oh, not sure I want him to chase me. Oh shit, he's right behind me. Okay, get the boots on, I'm fine, look. Yeah, boots. I know you like me, don't you? Okay, if you just come over here and I throw one of these just here. Would you like, oh yeah, would you like to, no, that's not going to be any good. Let's try that again. Over here. Nope. If I was a better shot, it'd help. Here you go, look, gold. Buddy. Gold. Yes, more gold there. This is totally going to work. Thank you. I didn't think this through, did I? Yes, in you go, in you go, in you go, in you go. No, he didn't get in you go. I know what we can do. Okay, I've had an idea. I think if I just put a redstone block here, like that, that means... Why do you keep running away on me? Where have you gone? Hello? I've got no shoes on. I know that infuriates you. Oh, good. God. Yes, follow me. Just don't do it so violently. Thank you. Now, if you would like some gold, please step in here. Lovely gold. Now you're just in the way of each other. And that's one down. Good boy. Time to rinse and repeat a few times. Hey, come on, you can't catch me. We love bloody being barefoot here in Australia. Look at my wiggly toes. Yeah. Oh no, there's another one in here. It's not allowed to have shoes on now. In you go. No, no, one at a time. This is problematic. One leave, please. One leave. Thank you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm an idiot. I'm a bloomin' idiot. I forgot to name tag them, so we've had some despawns. I even prepared for this. I've got the name tags ready to go. I had fished them up and gathered them up. I had enough for all. That's why there's this many sections with piglins in them, because that's the number of name tags I had. But I forgot. Okay, well, I guess I gotta start again and get 3 more here and then get our last boy in there. But before I do that, I'm gonna name tag these buggers. There we go. That's better. Nah. Yeah, you're living up to your name now, aren't you, mate? Sucks to be you. Ow. And that's our last, hang on, our last little bugger. Thanks, little bugger, you little bugger. Okay, so this is all set up now, ready for trading. So what I want to do next is I want to set these guys all up, and I'll explain once I've finished the building and do the tour what that means. But it does involve getting this farm going a little bit, because I need quite a few gold ingots to prime these, get them ready to trade all at the same time. So I'll get going to do that, and I'll also jump into finishing the rest of this build. Oh, lads and lassies, that took a while, let me tell you. My poor little building arm is ready to fall off. Building arm, that's what I said. What do you think? Doesn't look like a hell of a lot from the front, but I'll show you around inside. I've got a fair amount to show you. Don't fall off the scaffolding. Might grow. Fair bit to show you because there's lots of workings inside, and you know all the bits and pieces have to be given a little bit of time in the sun. So let's get started. Straight in the front door here, which as it turns out I built in the wrong direction. I wasn't going to tell you this. So the actual hole that I made is over there. But because the fog is so dense here, I really should have changed it or made a path or something so that I could see what direction it was. Shut up, Ghast. You're not up here anyway, you're down there. Yeah, I should have made a path or something to show what direction I was going. So I started this damn thing kind of on the wrong axis. But I'm going to pretend it's on the right axis and it's facing this direction for a reason that we'll figure out later, I guess. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind it one bit. Hey, I wonder, should we build other stuff up here? Any ideas what else should build up here aside from a gold farm? I don't know. A road to get around places? Other than that, I mean, does it make sense to build a village up here? Crike. Maybe I should finish the village I'm working on first before I start thinking about nether roof villages. What do you reckon, Micro? Okay, well, in here you've seen some of this already, but you haven't seen the finished thing. Me little dome roof, me little chandelier, and a hell of a ton of storage, as we mentioned before. It's quite loud down there. There's some fire down there. Anyway, let me show you how this damn thing works. What's the best way to do this? I suppose if I bring you up and I'll show you the gold farm, because there's some changes up here too. Tell you what, I am getting a little sick of climbing this scaffolding up to this thing. Maybe we'll do something about that at a later date, huh? Well, this is no different, right? It still works the same. However, there are a couple of changes that I had to make. I was talking about how it was struggling to get the items that would drop here down into the dispenser and fire them off quick enough. And it was all falling around here and ending up on the floor below. It was a mess. So what I've done is I've taken this hopper minecart here and I've nudged it over just a little bit, right, onto a second hopper here. So now we've got two hoppers that are receiving from this hopper minecart, and it pushes down into another. I keep calling them dispensers. These are not dispensers, they're droppers, of course, because you don't want, just in case, you don't want things dispensed. You want them dropped, not dispensed. This second dropper here allows everything from these hoppers to be pushed into exactly the same pipe as this dropper is pushing it into. And let me tell you what, it works beautifully. I've been up here and I've AFK'd, as you can see by my levels. I've AFK'd a couple of times. Show you why in a minute. But it just sucks the stuff down immediately, and I haven't seen it back up once since I made that change. So happy days. I had to put a second little unit out there to make that dropper work automatically, but it all works lovely. Sure, you can't ask for better. This here was changed as well, because I remember telling you earlier that these minecarts, I only put a certain number in, and I wanted to be able to pop up here as all these bios were running at me and swipe at them with the sword. Now I did that a number of times and that was fine with the new system for pulling the items down. It worked okay, but to be honest, it wasn't very good when I AFK'd. It was taking a long time to kill anything. Let me start this journey down because it takes bloody ages, but I'll talk to you about that because I've shown you what I need to show you. So they were dying too slowly. So what I did was I took more minecarts and put them into that same space so that it was essentially an instant death for anybody that fell into that one spot. And that's what was happening now. It's a lot faster to get XP. And to be honest, I don't really need the extra drops of the ingots. With the amount of nuggets that fall from that system, it's perfectly fine and we're capturing enough nuggets to turn it into ingots. Plenty to suffice. Well, I say plenty. Here's the thing. I've been AFKing a few times because these things, I have filled them up like once or twice. I filled up these 2 sections. It takes bloody ages. I might have overdone it with the storage, but I've used every little bit of it feeding these fellers. Right, because what I need to do is get, there's a number of hoppers here. It's just the way I built it, all right? Just mind your own business. All those hoppers need to be filled with iron, gold ingots. I keep saying iron ingots. I swear I'll get it right one day. They all need to be filled with gold ingots, every single one of them. And there's like 4 hoppers that run down from the line across the top that go down into these piglin guys. So all of those need to be filled with ingots, and that's a lot of ingots. But the reason I'm doing that, and I'm almost finished, I think the reason I'm doing is so that when I kick this system off, all these guys start trading at once, and it's a beautiful thing, right? So I'll probably in the next episode show you that working, because I don't think they're completely full yet. Let me show you the back end a little bit. All right, let's break a little wall here. And you can see how some of this works. Up at the top there, you can see where the pipe comes down and everything falls into another hopper minecart and into this line of hoppers across the top. That feeds all of our filter systems here, and they go around. Hello, how did you spawn? You little fecker, you. Let's go over here and see. Where are you spawning? I'll have to check for that a little later. It's not there, is it? No. They're all half blocks. Oh, I'll have to go and do another investigate. I have tried very hard to stop these people from spawning around here. Piglins and zombie piglins and whatever the bloody hell else might want to, but I've obviously missed something. Anyway, all of these are filtered, and I'll go around the front of this and show you how that works in a minute, but just over here you can see the line I was talking about. 2, 3, 4, bloody 5 of them that all need to be filled like this with gold ingots. So you see why I'm pumping a lot of gold into it to get it primed up. Now, makes sense, right? Not really, because I mean you could kick the system off and this one bloke would be firing away for ages and eventually it'll catch up, I guess, but it doesn't sit right with me. I want them all working at the same time. That's just the way we're doing it. I love it. So over here, not a hell of a lot, just the same kind of system as the far side, except right here, I don't want to break anything here. In here, right, in this little area here, I have cactus and another dropper that will take any of the swords that are in the system and just destroy them immediately. They'll run around, they'll miss all the filters because nothing is filtering for the swords, and they'll just be destroyed immediately, which is what we want, because bugger that sword business. This is how we kick off the system. This is your old reliable Etho hopper clock, and once we put in a few items here, and I've set it to 12. If I put 12 items in here, it's just about the right time that our little piglins over here will have, let me run, will have an ingot dispensed out to them. He'll have a little look-see. He'll spit it out into the hopper there, and it'll go into our sorting system below. And by the time he's done that, the system is ready to go again, and it triggers a line of redstone around the back, which will dispense another ingot to him. And that way it's just perfect timing, so they're all pretty much trading as quickly as they can trade. Down below here, we have our piglin sorting system. So these boys give us a lot of different items, right? But some I want a little more than others. So, for example, blackstone here. Blackstone I'm keen on getting a lot of, if I can. Same with gravel, because I haven't seen a gravel biome yet at all, so it'd be nice to have a renewable source of that. These I just kind of want to play around with. I think I decided I would get a lot of them if I could. I'm not entirely sure what they'd look like in a build just yet, but I haven't really used them before, so I thought I'd get them. This little fireplace here is lovely and warm and cozy, and also allows me to destroy things if I want to. And when I set this up, I wanted to set the filters up, and I needed some of these items, of course, so I let the piglins go for a while, and they threw out a whole pile of stuff, some of which I wanted and a lot of which I didn't. And eventually I started trying to organize it once I was getting this filter system all up and running. And I got bloody fed up with that pretty quick, so I went a little mental. They'll probably be angry with me, but I went a little mental. But anyway, it doesn't matter because we have a renewable system, and all I have to do is AFK, get those ingots going again, and this will be pretty full pretty soon, I'm sure. Now, the rest of it is getting nice, useful things like nether brick and, of course, nether quartz. I used a ton of that already for just building this. So it's not often you see somebody using the farm that they're building to build a farm that they're building. That's what I did here. Right. String, etc, etc. You know the drill. Down here, this is the miscellaneous stuff that won't stack, and so this won't take in particular books or in particular potions, but it will take whatever is left over once everything else is filtered. Hope that makes sense. So that's our little storage room, and now we have finished our vengeful build, because now you work for me, don't you, buddy? Now you're not bullying me, are you, buddy? No, you little buggers. You're all working for me. Am I petty? Maybe. I don't care what you think. Oh, and the one other thing, I think the last thing to show you is when I've got some nuggets here and I craft them into ingots here, then they go into this chest here, and at the back is an item elevator that feeds them into the circuit that goes around the top and feeds these boys, so I don't have to individually fill up those hoppers. As long as this is filled, it's going to continue pumping the ingots all the way around and giving all these guys something to think about. Now, I know that I could have put a minecart system on the top of this so they'd all get a little something at the same time, but to be quite honest, I couldn't be bothered reinvented the wheel, because I had most of this done when I realized the height limit that I needed to be able to add that in, and this is fine. This is fine. All I have to do is stay up there at that gold farm for a little while, and it won't take too long until we're primed and we're up and running. So now I guess I get the job of cleaning up, because I've still got quite a bit of stuff here. I might have gone overboard with the chest. I realized I went and made a pile of chests. I was actually over at the wood farm grinding away for ages to get enough wood to make those chests, and I had already done it. There was so much to do on this that I did it bloody twice, but that's just part of it, isn't it? It's all part of the fun. Anyway, give you one more look at this before we call it a day, because this has been a long old build for me, and I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. I think it looks fairly ominous. If you haven't noticed, by the way, kind of the idea of the build style is that whoever has built this, right, the same people who are below in the, I'm afraid to gesture in case I break this and I fall to my death, but below is the same people who built this, and they've built it out of prismarine. You know, the prismarine room that we've got collecting all the prismarine from the Guardian farm on the other side. It's the same folks, right? But this has been here for a while, so the nether, the heat of the hellish nether has charred it slightly from the bottom. So you can see the effects that it has had on the building itself as it slowly gets smolders and gets damaged from the heat of the nether. Perhaps this material wasn't made for being built in here in the first place. Anyway, we shall call that a day and call it an episode, because I've run out of time for this one. But I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I really hope you liked the build. Join me in the next episode for our next adventure. In the meantime, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye.